Okay, we are now into day 5. Not sure what time you're tuning in, but either way, this is day 5 of the 30-day VIP Credit Restoration Challenge. And of course, you got yours truly, Mr.
and Mrs.
Smith, your instructors of this 30-day VIP challenge. Now, this site right here, this page, what you're seeing should look also familiar. This is what it looks like once you logged in. By day 5, hopefully you logged in and you know how to access your My Credit system. But on this page, what you'll do is click here. I've already clicked it, so I already have it pulled up. So we'll just go straight there. And once you click on the Smart Credit System, you'll be able to hit the first tab and you'll see this screen. Now, once you're in here, let's just enter into where everything is inside of the 750 credit plan. And what we want to do is just do a brief recap so we can dive straight in. You see, in module 1 is what we went over in day 1, and it was just an introduction to the 750 credit plan, letting you know what all you had access to. Module 2, we talked about how to go about obtaining your credit report. You know, you can use annualcreditreport.com. We talked about that and how you need to go about obtaining it, because that's the starting point to you even knowing what's on your report to know what you need to do in order to enhance it. Then we talked about how to read the credit report, and in this module we were really stern on understanding how to read it from a level of prioritizing the things that are on the list, because once you understand how to prioritize the things that are on your list, now you know how to go into module 4, which was all about how to dispute the items on your credit report. So it was thoroughly broken down and we went over those things. But let's dive straight into module number 5. And as you can see from the title, it is how to remove negative payment history. This is where those letters get to coming in at. This is where the work starts. You see, the other days, you know, we're just kind of guiding you through the process, prep work, but this is where you put in work, but it's worth it work. It's work that you put in and it's all worth it.
Yes, most definitely, you guys. This is the meat, all right? This is what you've been waiting for. How to remove negative payment history, all right? As you can see, the video is very, very small. It's a 6-minute and 22-second video, okay? So really short video. The main power on this one is in these downloads, okay? In the downloads. So the very first thing, the very first thing that we want you to see is that all of the documents are listed 2 different ways. You have the PDF and you have the doc file, okay? Let's open up the credit dispute letters and let's go ahead and dive right in, all right? First, you gotta understand that, and you gotta understand these instructions, okay? We have instructions on how these letters work. We highly recommend, as we stated before, that you send your letters certified mail, okay? We highly recommend that. We also highly recommend that you use a notary public, okay? And we're going to get into that. You should also see here in the letters that 2 forms of ID should be included when you are sending off these letters. So just look at what it says. It says each letter is to be duplicated 3 times, addressed separately to each of the 3 main credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Okay, as I stated, certified mail is the best way to go, as well as getting a notary. It is extremely important to send the correct forms of ID, okay? If they are not sent, the bureaus will basically ignore your request or reply with a request for you to send the correct information, okay? They also might say, look, we can't verify you, right? And I know what you're thinking. Well, you verified me when you sent me that letter, right? But you got to understand the game, you guys. 2 current forms of ID. Another thing that you have to understand is you do not want to dispute more than 20 derogatory items at one time. Otherwise, the credit bureaus might mark your disputes as frivolous. You know, they may look at it like, wait, you got over 20 different credit collectors after you? It makes it look a little bit fishy, you guys. So you want to make sure you break that up. I wouldn't even recommend doing 20 on one letter. Do less than 20 and just break them up, because 20 derogatory items, that's a lot at one time. Another instruction that's really important, you guys, you got to understand, we got all of the letters here for you. We're making this super cookie cutter. Man. In the dispute templates, you want to replace the bold red content with your personal information. Nothing should still be read when you get ready to print and mail these letters off, okay? You're going to exchange your information out. You're going to exchange your information out to what you see in red, okay? Let's keep going.
So, as you can see, like she said, nothing should be read by the time that you're done. Everything that's in red is what you change. It just makes it that much simpler so you know what, so you don't have to ask, so what do I change? What is in red? That's the question that you ask yourself. So what is in red? You shift it, and you make sure that it is applicable to the bureau that you're sending it off to. So what you send to Experian goes to Experian. What you send to Equifax goes to Equifax. What you send to TransUnion goes to TransUnion based on what you see on your credit report. Do not mix and match. Do not cross over. Now, let's talk about this red area right here where it says the creditors. You will list the name of the account that shows up for that particular creditor. So if you have 6 creditors, then you'll put it on here. If you know, just one by one, you're listing them there. You're going to keep this area here where it says provide verification. You keep it listed as unverified account. It's a reason why it's not in red, because it needs to stay that way. They have not yet verified your account, so you leave it that way. Now, this spot right here is empty, and we want to just kind of highlight something about this. Where it says account number, what you put in this section is the number the exact way it appears on your credit report. So let's just say, for example, if that number says XXX 92341, then you put XXX 92341. Why is that important? Because if you have the actual account number and you filled in the X's with what is officially your account number, then what you did was just verify that it was your account. Right. You verified that you knew all of the numbers, so it's nothing to even talk about. They can say, hey, you knew this was your account because it wasn't even listed this way on your credit report. So be mindful of that. Send it to them exactly how you saw it, and that puts you in a better position for them to possibly not be able to verify your account, and then things have to get removed.
Yeah, you basically just told on yourself, all right?
Yeah.
And don't forget, you guys, you're going to do these letters 3 times, once for each bureau, okay? The first letter is you asking them to verify that the debt is yours, okay? If they do not have the full account number and you do, and you put that on the letter, again, you basically just told on yourself. You got to understand another thing. Every credit report is different. Some credit reports may contain information that others don't. Something may appear on Experian that doesn't appear on, I'm tripping over my tongue all day today. It may not appear on your Equifax letter. So you want to make sure you don't cross those over. When you're mailing off your dispute letters, you guys, if it was only on Experian, you're only mailing those disputes to Experian. Don't slip up and put those disputes on your Equifax letter because that didn't appear on your Equifax report, okay? So I know that it sounds like we're really talking kind of elementary to you guys, but we just want to make sure that we break this down in a way that anybody can understand. Another thing you have to understand is that these credit bureaus have 30 to 45 days to respond to your letter. If you remember in the previous videos, what we explained to you was if you use the annual credit report website to pull your credit report, that actually gives them 45 days to respond. Why 45 days? I don't know, but I'm telling you, 45 days if you use that. If you didn't use that annual credit report website, then they have 30 days to respond. So set a little reminder so that you can, keep track of when they respond, if they respond, or if they do not respond, okay?
I love it. I love it. Now, as you can see, and we didn't touch on this per se, but, day one or the first letter is them verifying the debt. And you can see it right here where it says, I demand to see verifiable proof. So that's how you know what letter you're dealing with. Of course, we got them in the order that they should be sent out. And once you fill out everything, you sign it, and then there's the location for you to get it notarized. And typically, you can get it notarized at the post office and, or the library. Those are areas you can get it notified. They stamp it, and now you're more official as it relates to sending off these letters. So it will cost you a little money because you're getting it certified to send off, but I promise you it'll be all well worth it. Now, like you said, you have a certain amount of time before they have to reply, 30 to 45 days, and then based on their reply, you will come back with letter number 2. So the first one was for them to verify. Now you need to determine the method. So it lets it be known, this is the second written request. Everything that's in red, you swap out. Everything that's in black, you keep the same. So you just basically let them know that based on my, request, you need to let me know the method to which you verified. So what is the method? You see these 4 bullet points here. So this is about the how. The first one was about whose debt is this and verifying it. This is the how. How did you go about verifying it? Who in your company verified these accounts? How did they verify them? Please provide me with the name of the individual, business address, and telephone number of the person or business contacted during your reinvestigation. Include the documentation that was used to verify the dispute. So you're putting them in the hot seat. You really have a level of posture with these letters that's built into it, because now you're having them to prove that this debt belongs to you. And in many cases, they can't prove it. So you'll notice that on this letter, it's a good chance that by the time you make it to this letter, some of the things may have rolled off. So when you're going over this letter, you're not putting down all of the listed items that were in the original if some of them no longer exist. By the time you make it to letter 2, you only want to put what still remains on your credit report, because there's no need to list what has already been removed. You're just getting them to verify the method that they used as it relates to the debt verification, and you're sending the letters associated with the ones that still remain. I hope that makes sense. So in this letter, at first it had 6. On this one it has 5 slots, and that's just an example, but one of them may have rolled off, so you only focus on the other 5. So it's the same process. You leave this as unverified account, you write the account number like we stated, which is like they listed. If they had letters inside the account number, you keep the letters inside the account number, and you only change what's red. You sign it, you get it notarized, and it's that simple. Yes, and you guys, with this letter, you want to give them about 2 weeks to respond, okay? About 2 weeks. We're not going to give them a full 30 days. And then let's go to dispute letter number 3, which you'll also give them about 2 weeks to respond, okay? And we're being nice with 2 weeks, okay? Right. So let's keep going. So dispute letter number 3, this is what happens, because you got to understand, things aren't always removed from your report. Okay, it doesn't always just fall off. They don't always just get scared, right? So this is what you have to understand. You still keep fighting, especially if there was any form of violation to your rights, especially if they're not meeting the deadlines, if they're unable to verify that it's your debt, if they're unable to give the method of verification. You guys, these are all things that can get these debts removed from your report. So number 3, you have not provided the verification info, therefore you must remove the item. And so if you look at the beginning sentences, we ain't playing. Please be advised, this is my 3rd written request and final warning that I fully intend to pursue litigation in accordance with the FCRA to enforce my rights and seek relief and recover all monetary damages that I may be entitled to under Section 616 and 617 regarding your continual willful and negligent non-compliance. All right, so you got to understand that you send these letters and you make sure that you're being organized, okay? You're just literally putting in your personal information. These letters are already typed up for you. This one is pretty cut and dry. I plan to litigate. Okay, I plan on taking you to court because of your, unresponse, or because you violated my rights, or because you were unable to verify the debt. And at the end of the day, it's still not removed from the report, okay? So the same thing, you're going to list those debts that are still on there, not the ones that has rolled off, not the ones that they removed, only the ones that still remain. You're going to sign it,
you're going to date it, you're going to get it notarized. And then dispute letter number 4. Again, really, really cut and dry. Another 2 weeks maybe to give it. So if you guys are listening also to what we're saying with the time frame, the first letter, 30 to 45 days. The second letter, if you need it, 2 weeks. The third letter, the fourth letter, 2 weeks. Repairing your credit is not a quick fix. It isn't going to be done in 7 days, in 20 days, in 30 days. As we stated before, repairing your credit takes a minimum of 90 to 120 days to repair, okay? And this is just the beginning of the process. So please keep that in mind. Please be patient with yourself, okay? And don't expect a quick fix. It took time for you to, get your credit to where it is. It's going to take time to fix it, okay? Letter number 4 is the pending litigation letter, okay? This is the final straw. I intend to litigate if it's not removed. So this is like really your final straw. This is, letting them know, look, I'm taking you to court. And sometimes you may actually have to go to court again if they're not responding, if they're unable to verify, if they're unable to verify the method of verification. And we get into that again in the module.
I love it. And this is the thing, as it relates to this letter, most of the time that it's not even worth it to them to get a lawsuit.
Right.
So many times you'll see things fall off the credit report and you're in good shape. But the process is the same. You change what's in red, you sign it, you get it notarized, and now you're in good shape. So these 4 letters are really equipping you to really take full control of your credit and just think about the people who you can help, because now you're getting a skill, you're getting so much knowledge that can really be implemented for yourself as well as for others. Now, those are just the 4 letters, and those are the main ones. This usually gets the job done. But what we want to do is go over some of the other letters that exist in this module, because we loaded it up with some good stuff. So let's talk about the statute of limitations. And, I'll read this briefly. One of the guaranteed ways to remove derogatory items from your credit report is to let the reporting statute of limitation expire. This report explains how to properly calculate when items on your credit report are eligible to come off due to the statute of limitations. So let's click on it. Let's click on the statute of limitations so you can just kind of see or get an elaboration of what it is and what it consists of. So basically, it's talking about the time frame. You see many debts that are on your report might be on the verge of rolling off. Typically, we're dealing with 7 years. So it says most negative accounts remain on your credit report for 7 years from the original delinquency date, unless it is a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, then it remains on there for 10 years. So many people ask and wonder, how does the Chapter 7 affect? Well, it takes 10 years on that, but it may be some debts that you currently have that might be at the 6-year mark. If it's at the 6-year mark, it might be in your best interest to just go ahead and wait it out and let it fall off on its own, because it has reached the statute of limitations. And then Chapter 7 stays on there for 10, and the Chapter 13 also falls into the 7-year category that it rolls off. So this is education to let you know the types of accounts, all of the things. We won't dive too deep in it, but as I stated about the Chapter 13, it remains on there until 7 years. Chapter 7 is 10 years, but this really just lets you know what your guidelines are as it relates to a time frame. I was talking to a young lady yesterday, and she was wondering what the statute of limitations was as I was doing a presentation at our local library, and she was told, she said that it may fall off after a year. I'm like, no, usually the statute of limitation is a 7-year process, and depending on how long the delinquency date has been, then you would have to scale it off of that accordingly. So you might have to just add 7 years to that date.
Yeah, and you see a mixture of everything on here. You guys pay tax liens, repossessions, foreclosures, judgments, charge-offs. So this is a little bit more research, just a document that we want you to scan. If you have any of these debts on your credit report, you need to know the statute of limitation, you guys. This is the law, okay? So again, if you're close to that 7-year mark, sometimes it's just in your best interest to just wait it out and let it fall off. And then again, that will actually affect your score positively once it rolls off.
Yep, and let's go over some of these other letters just so you can see it, not to, stretch it out, but just to kind of let you know, look, you got your hands on something.
Yes.
You really won this battle as it relates to this challenge just by stepping up to the plate. Now, you see it has how to remove IRS tax liens, and it might be something that you paid off, but it's still sitting on your report. So this letter helps you get it removed. What I want to elaborate on a little bit, because this is something that people deal with, and that's how to remove medical collections. So this download covers medical collections and how to remove them via HIPAA violation dispute letters. And 3 templates are included with this download. So they have 3 different templates in here, but the main thing I just want to point out is that sometimes you have to fight for the medical collections to be removed off of your report. Now, the law that protects you as it relates to your medical records is the HIPAA law. So there may be times where you're mailing off your letters pertaining to getting medical things removed, and when they reply, they may include some of the procedures that went on as it pertains to whatever medical experience you went through. Right then and there, if you see that certain procedures have been included in what they reply with, your HIPAA laws have more than likely been violated. And that's another reason to be able to litigate or sue or, get certain things removed because they didn't go about it accordingly. But I just want you to know that this form is back here, that it exists. Similar to the other forms, whatever's in red, you change. Whatever's in black, you change. And these are 3 different templates just based on different scenarios that are pretty self-explanatory depending on your scenario. But we just really want you to know that it's here and that the HIPAA law protects you. It's always some type of law that to protect you in the event those large entities who want to take advantage aren't doing things accordingly.
Yes, most definitely. And this one is major for so many people. The medical disputes, the medical collections, it's so major for so many people, you guys. And you got to understand that HIPAA law and a violation of your rights in order to get those things removed. So this one is going to help a lot of people. I know we're hitting you with a lot. I know we're showing you a lot of documents. Then you have to watch that short video. But hopefully you don't have that feeling of overload, but more so a feeling of excitement. Like, I got really excited after seeing everything that's poured into this system, you guys. Everything you need is here. So just think about how your credit score is going to climb if you just stay consistent with this. And then on the flip side, think about how many people we can help with this platform.
I love it. And just think about it from a level of value.
Yes.
Like,
you pay $20.
You got access to this for little or nothing. Whether you pay 20, whether you pay 50, whether you pay 100, we could have sold this for 1,000.
Yes.
Easily. Sold this for 1,000 and charged a monthly fee just for the guidance and assistance. So do not confuse low cost with no value, because you see it's loaded with value that can help you as well as those you're connected to. I'll brush over briefly some of the other ones. The debt validation letter. This letter is a little different from the first letter in the disputes letters because this one is centered around going directly towards the debt collectors. So as you see, the debt validation letter are letters sent directly to the creditor, not the credit bureau or collection agency. So this is the agency that might have took over that debt. So this letter exercises your right under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And we talked about that in the challenge. So you should know the difference between the FDCPA and the FCRA. A little different. So just understand the difference and how this letter goes to the creditors, not the bureaus, or to the collection agencies to get the validation of your debt. And then let's scroll down a little bit more because you see we got 5B. Let's talk about the goodwill letter. The goodwill letter is just more so a relationship-like letter. That's what I like to say. If you've been with a company or a particular bank or creditor for a certain amount of time, and let's just say you had a couple of dings that might have showed up on your credit report, this is the letter that you can send to them. Hey, I've been a good client. I've been a good customer. You know, is it possible that you can get these things removed off of my report? I want to continue this relationship, but those dings aren't really productive as it pertains to what I'm doing to level up or increase my credit score. So the goodwill letter is something that you can send off. And sometimes this can even be a phone call. Sometimes you can even just say, hey, you know, we got a good long-term relationship. I understand you following certain procedures. What can we do to go ahead and get this removed off? You know, I've been a good customer, a good client. So just understand the goodwill letter, when and how to use it. And this right here, I want to talk on and we'll wrap it up. But this is the pay for delete letter. This is like your last resort method. This is where a lot of times we tell you, we've said this, and I know you probably heard this, that you shouldn't pay the collection agency. And the reason why they say that is because when you pay the collection agency, not only have they bought your debt from somebody else, but also they really don't have an obligation to remove it off of your credit report. So with that being said, it kind of isn't worth it sometimes to pay the collection agency because they bought it from somebody else and they're not going to move it off of your report. Well, in certain scenarios, you might want to pay for a delete. And you're sending a letter and it's basically you negotiating, look, I want this removed off my credit report. If it say it was $1,000 debt that you owe, look, I'm willing to pay $300, to you if you can go ahead and just get this removed off of my report. When they send it in writing, then you can go ahead and make that payment. If they do not send it in writing, do not pay it. So it's just a matter of you using this negotiation letter, the pay for delete letter, paying less than what they're trying to accept, in the result, or your end result that you're seeking is them to remove it off of your report. So at times it could be worth it to pay the collection agency, but this is typically the last resort method.
Yes, so as you can see, you guys, this module number 5, only comes to as it pertains to the video, and there was a small audio that we kind of brushed over here that talked about the 609 letters right here, how to use the 609 dispute letters. This audio is only 2 minutes and 53 seconds. So if you see, even though there are videos here, there's a few videos in one module, they're really, really short, direct, and to the point. Even the dispute letters, even if the dispute letters look long and really detailed, they're really to the point because all you're doing is replacing the information in red. So again, we're giving you the game, you guys. If all of this does not apply to your personal situation, then it's okay. You don't have to print off the letters and things of that nature. However, what I say is you still educate yourself. Always educate yourself. Learn something new. Learn more than what it is that you currently know about credit. Learn more than just what pertains to your situation, okay? Because you never know. Again, we're doing this. It's bigger than us. We want to help ourselves, and we want to help numerous other people who need help with their credit, you guys, because this system is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's very simple. It's to the point, but we know that it can still be a lot. So what we want you to do, dive into these letters, okay? We're not going to do any videos over the weekend so that you can get caught up. If you needed to catch up on the other days, go ahead and do so that we can be up bright and early on Monday. Now, you can still post your questions in here. We don't mind. Put them under this video. If you have questions about day 1, put it under day 1's video so that we can just stay as organized as possible, okay? We don't want direct posts in the group because it pushes down the actual video content, okay? Still continue to put your questions in the group. We're still going to be here. It's just we don't want to keep hitting you with so many videos and not give you time to catch up. We know some people are working jobs. We know different things are going on, but we know that you're serious about bettering your credit, so we're going to make sure you do just that.
Absolutely. And just to kind of paint some vision for you, this is day 5. So it's Friday, and you won't hear our beautiful voices until Monday, like she stated. So use this as an opportunity to catch up, move forward. But day 5 is almost the halfway mark as it relates to the modules, because it's 12 modules. So we're almost right at the halfway point. But what I want you to understand is you still want to plug into these videos each day that we deliver them, because once we go through these modules and wrap it up and really answer questions, we also want to show you what you truly have access to. If you think this is something, then you'll really understand the power of what you gained access to, all because you took the challenge, all because you accepted the challenge and made it through. So get a vision for yourself of who else you know that can benefit from this. You challenge yourself to do it, but who else do you know that can benefit from this? Because we have a new 5-day credit challenge that's being launched this coming Monday, so you can start getting people into that challenge. There are over 150 people in line waiting to get in that 5-day credit challenge group that you've already gone through. So now you have the ability to see, hey, Who's interested in learning step by step how to go about bettering their credit? And now you can get them plugged into the group so they can get direct access to the same process you went through. And guess what? If they decide that they want to go ahead and get started in the 30-day challenge after the 5-day challenge is over, now you just made your membership to this business pay for itself because you earn income, you earn a commission. So I don't want to dive too deep in that, but just understand that there's power in you taking this skill set of understanding credit and helping others. Or if you're like, look, I don't want to help others per se the way that you are, but I do want to plug them into this process because I love it and I know you'll take good care of them, then you can do that as well. And now you tap into earning leverage income and residual income, and it can be pretty significant, all because you accepted the challenge. If you think we were delivering this message and giving it to you in a way that can really empower you, just imagine what we can do if we're moving in unison and helping others. We want 1,000 people with 750 plus credit scores, and it all starts with you and I.
Yes.
That's all I got. That's all we got. Your instructors, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Signing out.
Out.